So I had finally gotten remarried in August of 2003. So my dad came out for the service, or out for the wedding and everything, and he kind of looked thin, and Dad was like, well, it's these new false teeth. I just can't get them to fit, so just can't eat right. And I'm like, well, Dad, will you go to the doctor? I don't want to worry about you while I'm deployed, because I knew when I got married I'd be deploying that November. I deployed to Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar over in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. And about 3 weeks later, my mom had, on one of my calls, let me know that the doctor had diagnosed that Dad had cancer. It was going to be months at the most. Everybody came home and visited with Dad. My older sister came home, my younger sister came home. So I was the only member of the family that hadn't got a chance to come home. And the doctor was afraid that Dad wasn't going to make it until March. That's when my deployment was ending. So my dad's doctor went to the American Red Cross and asked, please, to return the servicewoman to be able to say goodbye to my dad. When the Red Cross emergency message came, the Red Cross is the only organization that's allowed to send a message to the theater in a deployed setting for the commander to determine if you can come home. And they asked that I be allowed to come home and see my father before he passed away. When I came home for that, one of the last things my dad wanted to be able to do was go out to his harness shop. That's where we always made the harnesses for the horses, or repaired. My dad was always known for repairing everything. But my mom wasn't strong enough to get my dad out to the harness shop. So to grant him his last wish, to be able to go out and just, touch his tools. We didn't do much. We sat out there and we tinkered around with things, and we told our jokes, and everything. And to be able to grant my dad's last wish, to be able to be around the things that reminded him of his dad and everything he did and what was so important to him in his life. How do you put a price tag on that? How do you explain to somebody what that is, to be able to do that for your dad? So to be able to go home and be there with Dad, and have that last beer and be out there amongst his tools and his harness shop. It's a gift that I can never repay the Red Cross for.
My name is Sharon Ray. My husband's Lynn Ray. We have 3 children, and I have 3 grandchildren. In March of 2014, I went to the doctor for my regular checkup. She knew everything wasn't quite right, so she sent me to another doctor. She called it a hematologist. Well, it was a hematologist-oncologist, and in my mind, I didn't imagine that there was even a chance that it would be cancer. I felt fine. The following day when we went to the doctor, he explained to me what it was, to us, and we cried, and we were afraid. When you're given that diagnosis of cancer, it makes you feel out of control. It just scares you to death. But the hardest day of the whole experience was the day I brought my children and my grandchildren in and had to tell them, because I was afraid that I wouldn't get to see those kids grow up. Multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer, but it's cancer of the plasma, and it causes deterioration in bones. They have found that a stem cell transplant, what people used to call bone marrow transplants, would be the best course of action for me. They had to give me a lot stronger chemo in order to kill the cancer in my blood so that they could extract those stem cells and they'd be healthy enough for transplant. Once you have really strong chemo like that, you have no immune system. You begin to need blood. I began to receive blood transfusions every couple of days. I really lost count of how much blood they gave. Money would not pay back what the Red Cross did for me. After probably 4 or 5 months, I started really being able to tell that I was going to be all right. I was going to make it. Many years ago, I volunteered at blood drives. I got to know from that side of the Red Cross what it really means, how many people are involved. Never, ever expecting that I would need even 1 pint of blood. Never thinking I would. I was young, healthy. When you see that little sign that says blood drive, you think, that'd be a nice thing to do today. I'll do that today. But somewhere, somebody's going to get that blood. And it may be a life and death situation. Lots and lots of people gave blood for me. They don't know it, but I'm grateful. They are preparing all the time for someday, for someone who is going to be in need. They're there for us when we don't know we need them.